for joining me again today. So this is the fourth video of my week in the life process video series, so video process video series. And so today I've actually got 2 days for you. I've got Thursday and Friday for you. Let's get started. So the first thing I did was that 6x8 photo. I added some chipboard sticker, which is from the WITL story kit, and that is essentially it for that photo. And that's essentially what my, I guess, the pattern that I've been kind of following throughout this, at least the first 3 days anyway, and just adding a little bit of embellishment onto that first photo and then call it done. The next thing I'm doing here is moving on to this 3x4 pocket page. And as you can see here, I've got only two photos, and I'm also gonna be using this 3x4 journaling card, which is from the Currently core kit. So Project Live core kit is actually, the edition itself is actually called Currently. And I bought this recently for really cheaply. I think it was on sale and it was on sale again. And I bought the whole kit for, I think, $10, 10 Aussie dollars. So it's really cheap. So, and the pattern itself is actually quite versatile, so that's why I bought it, and I kept that on my desk at the moment, so you'll be seeing me using that quite a lot. And the next thing you see me doing here is I've chosen a bunch of kind of die cut pieces, which are from the Read Story Kit. And I decided to use one which says read this, and the rest being kind of almost a pattern paper base, so there's no word on it. And that is essentially it for that card. I didn't have, I guess, enough photos, so I decided to add something which is kind of fun and kind of happy, I guess, page onto that 3x4 spot there. I also stuck down these rubber sticker which says this onto that photo of my lunch on the top right there, and also added some journaling around the bowl there. Also added this chipboard, which is from one of the documenter kits from Scrapbook, but that's essentially from my stash. I can't remember which one it actually was. And the next thing you see me doing here is I'm just adding a photo of me. And, well, actually that photo of me, and then near the locker. And so what I'm doing here, I'm adding some journaling directly onto the floor area there. And I did use my Sharpie black pen to add the journaling there. And I'm also going to be adding this wooden star onto that photo using my Glossier accent as well. One thing to note about using this glossy accent is that you need to make sure that it dries before you put in your pocket sometimes, otherwise it moves. I guess like any liquid glue, I guess. But yeah, so that would be the word of warning that I would probably put to this. The next thing you see me doing here is I add this word phrase sticker from the kit directly onto that photo. And because of the back of that pocket already has that kind of a rounded journaling card, so I decided to just round the corners of this photo as well. And the next thing you're going to see me doing here is I just added another word phrase, the word bubble there, and also added this kind of the chipboard which says Hello Thursday. And also added, instead of actually, adding the punch circle outside the pocket outside, just add in the circle this round. So I'm also adding some stamp image here. I decided to use the stamp set that came in the kit, and I stamped it right now, and also kind of an outline circle which also came in the kit from the stamp set as well. And I'm using the Memento Luxe ink, and the colour itself is actually called Love Letter. And one thing to note about these Memento Luxe ink is that sometimes it takes a little bit longer to dry than a VersaFine ink. So if you want to move it around, sometimes just be a little bit careful, because it's essentially it's a pigment ink, I believe, and so it takes a little bit longer to dry than a VersaFine ink. And the next thing you see me doing here is I want to add my journaling. So I printed all my journaling at once, to be honest, and I think on an A4 piece of paper I fit about six spots. So essentially 3 inches by 8 inches spot. And that means that, you know, essentially printing them out at once, and I cut them out. So essentially making a production line in a way. And so I'm just working on the Thursday one now, and I'm adding some, I guess, pattern paper at the bottom there. And I decided to cut up this pattern paper, which is from the 3x4 journaling card from the Currently core kit. And I cut a strip that down to stick down at the bottom there. And to be honest, I just kind of eyeballing the size of the strip down the bottom there. As long as it fits, I think it's about, usually it's about 3/4 of an inch, but I don't really measure it. I think as long as it looks okay and there's enough space in the top and there's enough space in the bottom, I'm all good. I've also added that chipboard tee there, which is from the kit, and also using my glossy accent there. Now moving on to the 4x6 one, so the 4x6 pockets, yeah. And so the first thing I did here is I add some washi tape, which came in a Scrapbook documentary kit. I can't remember which one it was though. But any washi tape will be fine there too, to be honest. And now I'm just cutting out the menu that I took from the cafe that we went to. So I took their kind of promotional menu thing that from the cafe that we went to, of the photo behind, well actually on the other side of this pocket page. And I decided to add the letter K directly onto that menu there. And the reason I added a K is mainly because the shop itself is actually called Cocoa Black. It's a cafe that sells hot chocolate. And so I added that chipboard, which is from the kit itself there. And I'm also adding this word phrase sticker, which says reminders of why I love you. And I stuck that down, and then also doing some journaling underneath there as well. And I decided to kind of add a little bit more stuff onto it. So I decided to go with, you know, this kind of this star, orangey star there, which is from my stash. It actually came in a documentary kit, a Scrapbook documentary kit, to be honest, but I can't remember which one it was. But any puffy style would work there too, to be honest. Now, the last page of my Thursday is this one, which is a 6x8 photo. I did added some my journaling onto it using Photoshop, and so I printed it out using my printer, and I've got the Canon Pro 9000 Mark II printer, but any kind of photo printer would be fine there too. I added the letter T there, and one thing to note is that you need to make sure that you peel out the kind of the plastic cover that is essentially covering that acetate piece there. For the first couple of days, I did not know, so I did not remove them. But I think I did it for Wednesday, and so now I know I just removed that as well. And it's much shinier. It actually looks quite nice, much nicer than, you know, otherwise. I'm also adding this brad, which is from the Magic Story Kit. It's a relatively old story kit, but I bought it recently when it was on sale. And that brad is kind of a star brad, and it helps kind of secure that T over there without having much glue on it. And let's move on to Friday. So Friday, once again, I've got a 6x8 photo, and I have added that wooden star on the top right there and call that done. The next thing you see me doing here is adding some I'm using this photo here, which is a photo of my jumper, and I really like that jumper, so I just took a photo of that. And I was very happy with my dress code on Friday. So, and then I am going to be adding some, I guess, journaling onto this photo, on the right of this photo. And I decided to, as a prompt to this photo, for the journaling for this photo, I decided to add some word phrase stickers. And they are from, I think one of them is actually from the Heart Story Kit, one of them is actually from the Tough Story Kit, and the other one is from a Studio Calico Documenter Kit. But any word phrase stickers that you think fit, you know, in terms of, you know, word fit would be fine there too. And now I'm just adding some journaling, essentially talking about the jumper that I was wearing at the time. That was actually my favorite jumper, and it still is. It's really comfortable, and when it rains, it's, yeah, it's so good with a big hoodie there. So, and then I am taking a photo. Sorry, I'm embellishing this photo using this rubber word happy, which is from a Maggie Holmes, I think it's from the Shine collection, and I stuck that down and add some journaling across that top area there. And the next thing you see me doing here is I am just adding some word phrase stickers on that bottom photo there. I decided to keep it quite plain, to be honest. I just added some word phrase stickers there. It's a long one, so I decided to cut that and then just add it along the aisle, kind of the walkway there. Now moving on to some journaling, the 3x8 journaling spot that I have every day. I decided to do exactly the same thing as every day, to be honest. And now I'm just kind of going through a bunch of pen paper that I've got in my stash, and this one is, I believe, from the May Scrapbook kit from the Hip Kit Club. And I cut a strip, which I think it's about, once again, 3/4 of an inch one in terms of the height, and the width is 3 inches. And now I also stuck down the F there using my glossy accent, and also adding a strip of pen paper, which is exactly the same as any other day, so the same pattern. And this one is from, I believe, from the March Scrapbook kit from the Hip Kit Club. So. And now moving on to the 3x4 pockets. And I think I've got 6 photos with this for Friday. And the first thing you'll see me doing here is I'm going to be adding some journaling directly onto that top left photo there. And the first thing I did was adding the word phrase sticker, which says amazeballs. And this is a photo of our dinner on Friday. So I added that sticker in the middle of one of the bowls, and then add some journaling around the other bowls. Or that bowl and other bowl as well, using my Sharpie pen. Now the next thing you see me doing here is I want to add some embellishment onto this photo. And this photo is actually off my phone, the screenshot of my phone when I purchased a bunch of story kits from Elliot's website when it was on sale. And so that was when, that's a Friday, that's a day that I actually bought these kits. So, and I stuck down these wood veneer peaks there, which says my favorite, using my glossy accent. And now the next thing I'm doing here is adding this chipboard which says Hello Friday directly into the card. And I'm also going to be adding a kind of a circle, which is an 1.5 inch circle. And that pen paper is actually from, I think it's from the Currently core kit, I believe. So I punch it out using my Fiskars squeeze punch. I'm also sticking down a few of these word phrase stickers there as well. So I took a bunch of photos of my shoes that I wore on Friday, and I stuck down the sticker that says Work Live, Awesome Live and Crazy Live just on different photos there. I'm also going to be adding a kind of a stamp image once again, similar to any other day. And I stamped that using my Memento Luxe ink, and the colour, that green colour, is actually called Pear Tart. And I'm using the stamp set, it's the stamp that came with the from the kit. And I'm sticking that down using my foam nuts. I stuck it down outside the pocket, as you can see there. And the next thing you see me doing here is adding this acetate piece, this acetate letter which says F, which, well, it's an F1. And I am going to be sticking that down using a brad that came in the Believe Story kit. It's actually quite hard to actually find a way to add some adhesive onto, you know, trying to stick this word down, because you can see through it. So I decided to use some brads and also add a little bit of the glossy accent, just so it stick down on both sides. And the eyelet tool that I actually used was from Martha Stewart. It actually works really well because you can actually put the hole in any spot, you know, in your page, rather than the crocodile where, you know, there's only limited, like you can only go in so far. And it has been working very well. And so here's some close-up. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be back tomorrow for the Saturday video. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And if you want YouTube to let you know when my next video comes out, please subscribe. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!